So I believe I just overcame what was the worst cigarette craving I've ever had. I've been on a Nick Fit for 4 days. Alright, so look everybody, this video is not anything special. I just got off work and I kind of just felt the need to discuss what I've been going through recently. Not in detail because not all of it matters, but obviously I haven't given an update in at least a couple weeks now in terms of my quitting smoking journey and whether or not I'm still smoke-free. Well, the answer to that is yes, I'm still smoke-free, but my cravings have slowly been increasing in intensity and length, especially over like the last week or so. And I gotta tell you, especially for like the last 3 days, today's pretty much like day 4, you know, because this started just before the weekend and we're into today's Tuesday, I think. But anyway, you know, my anxiety, depression, you know, it's, especially the anxiety has just been through the roof recently. I've been having some, you know, blood pressure. Here we go again. I can't say that. I can't say those two words together. Blood pressure. I've been having some blood pressure spikes that are pretty unhealthy, and there's nothing to associate them with aside from just the fact that I've been triggered. You know, my anxiety's been triggered, and I'll do a blood pressure. Once again, everybody, I have a stuttering problem. Certain things trigger that stuttering problem. The R's and L's do definitely major. Screw me up every time. Anyway, I can tell my anxiety's been through the roof. So I noticed a pretty intense craving started late last week, like I said, maybe around Friday, somewhere around there. And I just, it just got really bad, you know, to the point where I couldn't stop thinking about wanting a cigarette. And, you know, where I always say, and, you know, health professionals say too, you know, cigarette cravings generally only last a few minutes, sometimes less, sometimes a little bit more, but they don't last for a long time. While that's true in most scenarios, it's definitely not always that way for me, and it definitely was not that way over the last several days. Again, like I said, I think I'm finally pulling out of it. I didn't smoke a cigarette, I didn't break down and buy cigarettes, and I basically just wanted to discuss, not a method, I in a future video, sometime this week hopefully, I'm going to release a method system for quitting smoking and avoiding cravings and how to deal with cravings when you have them. There's not a whole lot that I did to deal with these cravings. I've been absolutely miserable for the last several days just wanting a cigarette. And I didn't distract myself. You know, I didn't try to substitute it with something else. You know, I didn't pick up a vape or anything. I did nothing to suppress my cravings. I just sat there and was completely miserable having them. But there is one thing that I did do, which, Captain Obvious here, but I didn't buy any cigarettes. If you don't buy cigarettes and you don't have anybody to borrow them from or anything like that, then you can't smoke, you know? So obviously not buying cigarettes is what I did to avoid, you know, my cravings. But here's the deal. There's like a 2Ds or 3Ds or 5Ds method or something to quitting smoking. One of those was the one that really pulled through for me here, and that was delay. I delayed every opportunity to get a pack of cigarettes at the store by just not going. You know, I'd sit there, I'm on the couch, I'm watching a TV show, I'm being lazy, I'm miserable, I want a cigarette so bad. But in my head, I'm just telling myself, just wait. Just wait. I wasn't telling myself it's not gonna happen. Because when you pretty much eliminate the idea altogether that you're gonna get a pack of cigarettes and you know you're gonna be doing completely without them, and you tell yourself, I'm doing completely without them, that can set you off into a whole nother anxious episode and make your craving even worse because you're telling yourself it'll never happen again. That can mess with your mind. So I didn't tell myself I wasn't going to buy a pack. I told myself, wait, just wait. And that's all I did for the last several days. Like I said, the last several days were absolutely horrible, miserable, but I'm not smoking, you know, and I'm already, like I said, I feel like I'm pulling back out of the craving that I've been having that just has not gone away. But I just delayed. Every time I had the opportunity to go to the store and get a pack of cigarettes, I just told myself, just wait. Just don't go right now. You can go later if you have to, but don't go right now. And every single time later came along, if I was still having a really intense craving, wait till later. Wait till later. And eventually the store would close. Eventually I would have to go to sleep. Eventually I would have to go to work. Eventually, something would come in the way to completely interrupt the entire pattern, the entire thought process I was having, because obviously if I'm going to sleep, I can't think about having a craving while I'm sleeping. So I just kept on delaying and delaying. And here we are 4 days later. It was rough. It was really, really rough for the last few days. But I've finally, again, like I said earlier, feeling like I'm getting over the craving that I was having. So next time you think that you need a cigarette, and you're quitting and you're having a craving and you feel like you have to have one, just wait. Don't tell yourself it's not happening. Don't tell yourself, no, forget it, we're never smoking again. Again, because like I said, that can trigger an anxious episode and just intensify your craving even more. So instead, just tell yourself, wait. Hopefully that helps you out in the future. Hopefully it helps me out in the future to remember what I went through this time, because I never thought it was going to end, but it did. Sorry this video sucked, everybody, but hopefully you get something useful out of it. I'll see you in the next video. You guys are awesome.